Hi, I'm Peyton.
And I'm Evan. Welcome to this week's special edition of Beyond the Rocks School News.
This week's episode will focus on the important topic of mental health.
Before we begin, we have a few quick announcements. Come support the Rams tonight at the TED, and make sure to wear your black.
To make sure you're looking your best for homecoming, Escape Salon is having a homecoming special.
Make sure to put your votes in for Homecoming King and Queen, and remember, anyone can vote.
National Honor Society has their first meeting on October 4th at 2:45 in the LGI. For the past 15 years, Grand Rapids has put on the Suicide Prevention Walk, Out of the Darkness. Jenna was there to cover the event.
I'm Jenna Hankins, and we're here at the Suicide Prevention Walk here at Millennium Park.
Out of the Darkness walks were created by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention to raise money and awareness for this serious topic. Walks are being held in over 350 cities across the country. Grand Rapids held its first walk 15 years ago with only 75 people participating. Today, there are over 1,000 walkers.
Depression is not something to be ashamed of. It's not a choice someone makes to suffer so much that death seems the only way out. Depression is a treatable illness, much like the flu or a broken bone. How many of you here, if you broke your arm today, would just look at it and say, I'm sure it'll get better on its own, I don't need help. There's no shame in asking a physician for medical help when you're sick, and nor should there be in asking for help for emotional or mental illness.
Well, we're passing out balloons for each one of these people walking today for their loved ones so they can put a note on there and send it off and be in a memoriam to their loved one today. They are biodegradable. That's why there's no strings attached, so nothing gets caught in the environment.
This event is really great for everyone to come together and to raise awareness on mental health and soothe. A lot of people are struggling, whether everyone knows it or not, just really to bring awareness about mental illness and suicide and what we can do to prevent suicide. This has been Jenna Hankins with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
It sounds like that event had a profound effect on the community.
It did, just like the group of peer listeners we have at the high school. Lauren and I got the chance to learn more about the program.
Here at Rockford High School, we have an amazing group of students called the Peer Listeners.
So peer listening is a peer-to-peer outreach group that really strives to bring awareness to our community about mental health and how to get help and to help prevent the stigma around it.
The Peer Listeners do many training seminars and different events throughout the year.
Have Mental Health Awareness Week. We also do the Kent County Youth Summit. We do freshman center lunches and we go over and talk to the freshman center.
Whenever you need someone for help, you can just go into the counseling office and they will set you up with someone right away.
So basically you can come down to the counseling office and request a peer listener from Mrs. Lemicusa or Mrs. Coyle. They will either have someone sent down to the counseling office to talk with you, or you can also request a specific person. And we'll tell you our confidentiality statement, just saying that everything that we talk about is completely confidential unless we feel like you're going to harm yourself or someone else. In that case, we'll just bring in a trusted adult.
Mrs. Young is very excited for our upcoming DHK event.
Kevin Hines is coming in for Developing Healthy Kids the night of October 17th. And we want everybody to come out and listen to his message. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. He shares his story about the second that he jumped, he regretted it and wished he could take it back.
This has been Peyton Langelier with Beyond the Rock School News, signing off.
I think it's great that we have a support system like this within our student body.
Especially because it gives students the opportunity to get the help they need without worry of judgment.
Students also had the opportunity to speak out for mental health awareness here in the studio.
I was really ashamed of my depression and anxiety.
I was diagnosed with depression.
We had a very close friend, family friend, that we referred to as Aunt Ellen, and this summer in June, she died to suicide.
I've struggled with anxiety and depression probably since about I started middle school.
It took me a long time to realize that I wasn't a disaster or I wasn't crazy for feeling this way.
There's always going to be somebody out there who cares, and that might not be somebody that's really close to you, but there's always somebody that completely understands where you're coming from.
Mental health is a real thing, and people like to dismiss it a lot, but it's just as important as your physical health.
Something I would say to somebody who is battling through this is you're not alone.
You don't have to feel bad for getting help. It makes you stronger because you have enough courage to ask for help.
There's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's not something you should be debating about. There's people out there that will help you and that will love you for who you are no matter what you're struggling with.
I thought I could handle it on my own.
I thought that it would just pass and I just had to push through.
I thought that no one else felt like this too.
I wish I had known that I wasn't alone.
I wish I had reached out sooner.
I wish I had known that this didn't make me any less of a person.
42% of people with mental illness go untreated.
100% of mental illnesses can be treated.
Help us lower that number by speaking up and speaking out against the stigma around mental health.
It is not embarrassing.
It should not be a secret kept.
It does not make you any less of a person.
Speak out and help fight the stigma.
As September ends and Mental Health Awareness Month approaches, always remember to take care of others and yourself.
Once again, I'm Evan.
And I'm Peyton. Have a great week in Rockford.